All right. Sophie's here. Katie, that's you. Okay. T is here. Annabelle moved up there. Caroline's over there. Harvey's here. Lily's here. Eva's here. Dagny's here. Kim is here. And Yvette is here. No, yes, Yvette is here on Zoom. And Kim's here. Okay. All right, so the bell rang. This is actually the bell for us to have class, so let's have class.
Did you record?
I am, and thank you, Fiona. You are my new favorite person. Okay, so welcome to AP Calculus. This is my other favorite class to teach. Actually, I like teaching all my classes. But what we will be doing here for the next 9 months is basically doing the first trimester of a college calculus class. If you are in BC, then you will be doing the first the first two semesters of a college calculus class. And the way it's going to work is, and Yvette, can you hear me? Give me a thumbs up. Okay. The way this is going to work is we will basically do all of the AB material together here in this space. And then my BC folks, you will teach yourselves some extra material on your own. And I will help you do that, so don't worry about it. It's not like I'm leaving you on your own. Okay. So there is a syllabus. Everybody have the syllabus? Did you find it on the portal? We could go to the portal for a minute. Let's see, I probably timed out of the portal. I am very pro portal. I try to put everything that I possibly can onto the portal so that you are all good. Let's talk about this for a minute though. When you find things on the portal, you want to go to the thing that meets at M. Okay? So if you're in AB Calc, you want to press this one. If you're in BC Calc, you want to press this one. Okay, you'll only have one or the other. Okay? But M means that it's the class for the whole year, and then everything will be there. It won't disappear when we go from trimester 1 to trimester 2. So if we go, you'll notice that you already have a whole bunch of assignments. There's just a description at the top that I cut and paste right off the syllabus. I put everything into assignments, so I will not separate out quizzes or tests or anything like that, okay? Your quizzes and tests will all be here within assignments, okay? So if you notice you need to do section 1.1 for tomorrow, we'll do 1.2 on Monday. I think Tuesday's our drop day, and we'll just keep going, okay? Right now, we're really moving section a day. After we get past chapter 2 and we get into the new stuff, we'll slow down, okay? But right now, everything that we do is something you were supposed to have learned in pre-calc, okay? Instead of having a real paper textbook this year, we have an online textbook through openstacks.org. It is the Calculus Volume 1. You'll probably need Volume 2 if you're taking BC, but we'll deal with that around Thanksgiving. It is all linked there. Class notebook is through OneNote. I did update a bunch of things during Flex 3 today. So if you need to log out and log back in to see things, you should do that. And then files is where you will find the syllabus. Okay. I try to put everything on the portal so it's all there and you have it. As Fiona asked during AP Physics, if I tell you something in class, like read 1.5 for tomorrow, and it's not on the portal, you should go with what I said in class. But you should also say, yes, that's not on the portal. And I'll say, okay, I'll get it on there later. Ask questions. That's the big thing, is ask questions. All right, so back to the syllabus. The purpose of our class is to get ready for the AP exam.
Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this.
There we go. So that we don't all have to stare at that. She doesn't feel wrong. Okay. I can still see that, so if she needs me, she can wag her fingers. Okay. So as we talked about in AP Physics, as I'm sure you've talked about in many of your classes, we're using flipped learning this year, which is actually not very different from the way I have been teaching AP Calc all along. So what it means is that you will do some reading, maybe watch some videos, do some practice problems that I would call plug and chug, which means here's an equation that you read about. Oh, look, let's practice using that equation. I'm going to tell you what all the variables are. You plug them in and do the math. Okay? You don't need me for that. You are all very smart people simply because you are sitting here in this room. Okay? You need me to do the hard stuff. So the way this works is you do the easy stuff on your own. You come into class, we do activities. It's been really hard to find things for chapter 1. Because really, how many activities can you do on how to draw a line? Or do you know how to do it? We'll be playing Jeopardy. So you do that, we'll do the harder stuff in class. Okay? You are expected to have done the reading. You are expected to have done the journal guidelines. Okay? This is a two-way thing. If you come to class and you haven't done what you're supposed to do, it's going to be really hard for me to do what I'm supposed to do. Okay? And please remember, like we talked about yesterday, I need you to interact. Okay? I can't do this by myself. I'm already tired. Okay? All right. We'll talk about OneNote in a minute. Deportment. These are my rules. Okay? We will go through them, but it all boils down to show respect for yourself, for others, for me, and be responsible. Okay? So the rules that are in the syllabus, we're all going to agree that we are going to follow those. Only one person talking at a time. It's especially hard with masks. Okay? We don't expect you to raise your hand because we are adults. Okay? And you should be able to not talk over each other and know when to let another person talk. However, as we discovered here, and as a little bit we discovered in AP Physics, I can't always tell who's talking. So we may need to have a little, like, symbol that says it's me. And if you see me not focusing on the person who asked the question, raise your hand, okay? So that I know who I'm supposed to be looking at. And please ask questions. Be brave. Okay, you are not the only one who is confused at this moment, whatever moment that is. Half of you are confused, but they're all thinking I'm the only one who's confused. You're never the only one who's confused. There are no stupid questions. I totally believe that and embrace that with my life. Okay, and we do not make fun of people who ask questions. Okay, it's your question. You got to have an answer to it. Okay, so please. Embrace that. Please be on time. Make sure you have all your stuff. This class will be a lot of give and take, a lot of back and forth, a lot of I ask a question and I wait for your answer. What drives me absolutely bonkers is I've already been up here, and as I said in AP Physics, I am the queen of hang time. Go ask Ms. Miller. I'll stand up here for minutes waiting for you to answer my question. It is so terribly disappointing when I'm up here waiting for an answer and you raise your hand and say, can I go to bed? Okay? If you need to leave the room, again, we are adults and I trust you. Go, take care of whatever you got to take care of, and come back. All right? If you get up and leave my room, I assume you have an extremely good and important reason for it, and I trust you. Don't get in trouble out there. Don't have a party in the bathroom, because then I get in trouble. Okay? And it's not, I don't want to be in trouble. I don't like being in trouble. Okay? So go take care of whatever you got to do and come back. If you're late, don't interrupt my flow. Again, if you are not here on time, I assume you have a really good reason not to be. Miss Derlin stopped me in the hallway. We had to talk about this thing. Fine. I trust you, but don't interrupt what's going on in class. Tell me. You want to tell me afterwards because you need to? Fine. I'll listen to you. I care. I just assume that you care about me and you have a good reason to not be right. Dress code. I don't know if it's as much of a problem in here. A little bit. You will be in rooms with cameras that are pointing at your knees. Okay? Don't sit like this in your skirt. I wear skirts all the time, just so that I can sit like that if I want to. More so that I can reach down and deal with my children. Okay? And I am learning that I gotta be real careful what I wear on top. Okay? Just be aware of where you are and what your body is doing. We're letting you wear shorts because we know things are strange. Okay? But just be aware and use dress code responsibly. No cell phones, although occasionally my rings, I think they tried to extend my car warranty during the peak of this day, but whatever. I try to keep my cell phone away, but I am managing the lives of my children. So things happen. No gum. Let's not have this discussion. It's just there's no gum. Okay. All right. Questions so far? All right. OneNote. Let's talk about OneNote. Everybody's OneNote kind of looks the same for right now. BC folks, you'll have stuff later. What I found is that when I distribute things, the subpages don't stay subpages, which I find to be really frustrating. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. But if you notice, for instance, and I have moving that issues in my way. Like the journal's outline page is empty because it's really just supposed to be like a header. Okay. So, journal outlines. You do the journal outline before you come to class. It's due at the beginning of class. You go through, and it'll tell you, write this theorem down, write this definition down, write this equation down. Okay? This one is not as good as the others. Let me go to another one. There it is. So, there are examples that you do, and then they ask you to do a checkpoint. Okay? So you try to do the example, look at their answer, do the checkpoint. I gave you answers to the checkpoint. However, I have found in my life that it is really easy to agree with somebody else's answer. Yes, Dr. Goetz, you did that correctly. Good for you. Okay, that's not what I want. I want you to do it and then check your answer. So I found this cool thing online where what you do is you put the answers there, but you put them in white. So then you highlight what comes after the word answer, or in this case, domain and range, and you can check your answer with my answer. Okay? I don't think I did that for section 1.1 because I think I forgot. I don't think I realized it yet. And there's the answer to the other part. Okay? I think it's really neat. You can't see it so well up here, but it shows up pretty well on your screen. Okay? And you can always highlight it and change the color so you can see it better. So basically you're doing the easy stuff, you're taking the notes. This is not a place where I'm going to write a secant line is. Okay? You're going to do that on your own. And we're going to do the more difficult stuff in class. The stuff that says class activities over here, don't do it. It's in class. Okay? I always get somebody who's so gung-ho and you said it was today, and I'm like, it is, but that's what we're going to do for the next 42 minutes. We will do those things in class, okay, but they are there. The homework is down at the bottom. At the beginning, I kind of feel like what's happening is we're spending so much time practicing in class and it's all review that there's not a lot of homework. I think this will change as we get into new material, okay? I mean this sincerely. If you feel like you don't have enough homework, say something, okay? And I know that sounds weird, but what it might be is, Dr. Goetz, I feel like I don't have enough practice problems. And we talked about this yesterday when Ms. Marlette kind of led us through that thing about how we learn. Some of you talked about, I just want to keep practicing until I learn how to do this thing. I can give you that if you need it, okay? I'm going to look at how tests and quizzes look and see if I feel you need more practice, but I think we're kind of doing practice in class. And we will revisit this again when we get to chapter 3, which again is new material, okay? Chapter 1 is functions, chapter 2 are limits. You know this, okay? But really, if you feel you need more homework, ask, and I don't think that'll be a weird thing. The exit ticket thing, again, it seemed like a really good idea when I created the page, and I don't really know how that's going to go. In AP Physics, we discussed how that may not make it till Halloween. So the exit ticket is empty. Don't worry about it. Okay. Questions so far? You good? Okay. All right. So that's one note. Homework. The homework is due all at once. Oh, well, mostly. I want to see your work when you do your homework. Okay? Don't just write down 4. I want to know where 4 came from, because you need to be able to go back and study from your homework problems and know where 4 came from. Okay? Don't Google the answers to your homework, because you're not going to learn anything. You can, but it's a stupid thing to do. Okay? To be successful on the AP Physics exam, you need to learn how to do a bunch of stuff. You're not going to be able to Google on the AP Calc exam. You're not going to be able to Google how to do it. You need to rely on yourself. Okay? As we talked about in AP Physics today, and I'm going to do that, okay? And you're just going to have to live with it. You're not missing anything if you're not in AP Physics. It's just, I spend a lot of time listening. Okay? In AP Calc, there are only a certain number of problems. There's only a certain number of skills. And we will learn those skills to varying degrees of expertise, depending on who you are and how hard you work and whether you give up and figure it. Okay? It's a thing. So we can do this, and there will be things to do, but you have to actually invest the time to learn how to do it. I reserve the right to give a quiz anytime I want. It kind of goes with don't piss me off, or there will be a pop quiz. I like to have a quiz halfway through the chapter. I will tell you that that quiz is coming. We will agree on a date. There is usually homework due before that quiz so that you kind of feel good about where you are, or understand that you don't feel good about where you are and you have time to do something about it. And then there's a test at the end of the chapter that's on the whole chapter. And again, there's homework on the second half of the chapter that's due before the test. Chapter 1 is a little different because it's all review. So there's only a test at the end, which won't be next week, but the week after. I don't know if it's on the portal or not. I know I wrote the test list down, I came up with a date for it. If you do the test and there's something you obviously don't know how to do, I'm going to give you extra work that's required, because you have to know how to do things in chapter 1 to be able to do chapter 2, chapter 3, whatever. It's not really punishment, it's like restorative. You have to be able to do this, okay? And I often, although not always, I will often give you some of those points back after you do the extra work. I will add some points onto your test because you've shown that you know what you're doing. I try not to put AP Physics, AP Calc tests on the same day. If that ends up happening, you should tell me. Dates in general are negotiable. They're not fluid. Things are due. But I am very open to hearing when I say the chapter 1 homework is due on Tuesday and the test is on Wednesday, but Dr. Goetz, we are all in AP Euro, and AP Euro has a test on Tuesday. Could we shift it so that the homework is due Wednesday and the test is Thursday? Probably. Okay. Can you come in Tuesday and say, Dr. Goetz, I didn't do my homework because we had an AP Euro test today? You can, but I'm going to take half the points off your homework when you give it to me. Okay. Be proactive. Come in as soon as you can and say, Dr. Goetz, this is a problem. I may not be able to move things because sometimes it's part of a bigger picture. But I like to be the benevolent AP teacher. Okay. Senior year is not supposed to be impossible. It is challenging and hard, but we can get through this together. But you have to do your part and communicate. The time to tell me that you're not going to turn in your homework is 9 o'clock the night before. If it's not done by 9 o'clock the night before, you know it's not going to be done by the time you walk into class. Tell me. And I'll say, okay, life happens. When can you get it to me by? I can have it by the end of the day. Great. I can take it. I probably won't grade it till after school anyway. Okay? But I'm not going to be nearly as nice about it if you come in that morning and say, Dr. Goetz, I didn't do my homework. Great. Not cool. Okay? So just talk to me. Okay? You might still be scared of me out if you are. But I'm really not scary. I'm really a nice person. Grading, tests are 40%, homework's 30, journals 20, department is 10. I expect you to be here. If you're not, you're responsible for what you miss. Okay? And like I said, everything is on the portal. Honor code. I believe in the honor code with every flavor of my being. It is extremely important to me, and I take violations of it very seriously, like it breaks my heart. Okay? It is the bedrock that our community is built on, and I expect you to take it as seriously as I do. All of your tests and quizzes will be through OneNote. I need to know that I can trust you not to open that document until I say it's time to take the quiz. I need to know that when the period ends that you're not going back there and changing things. Okay? It's a trust thing. I trust each and every one of you. I have no reason not to. Okay? But I need you to live up to that. Please have the person that you live with, the caring adults that you live with, read through this with you and sign it. Okay. BC folks. Annabelle, Eva, Tia, who's the number 4? Katie? No, who's number 4? Oh, okay, Fiona. We will deal with BC starting about the end of November. Starting like the beginning of trimester 2 is when you will start getting the extra work that you do for BC. It'll start the same way that you'll read the chapter, do the journal, or you'll read the section, do the journal guidelines, do some homework. I actually have whole web pages that are set up that lead you through what it is that you need to do. There are videos on there and all of that. And then there is a quiz at the end of every section, and there's homework due at the end of every section. And
do you think that quiz is like in our group reading?
yeah, yes, we will do that. Yes, exactly. Okay, but we'll deal with that as we get closer. Okay. All right. Questions on anything so far?
Other than chapter 1 and chapter 2, which you said was go fast, how long does it usually take to complete the average chapter? Just so you know, like how long it'll be like between your quiz.
So chapter 1 and 2, we do a section a day. When we get into chapter 3 in the new material, it's usually 2 sections a day. I'm sorry, 2 days a section. That's the way it used to be. I'm not sure how it's going to work with this emphasis on flipped learning. So figure a chapter, again, this isn't my usual, we'll talk about the textbook in a minute, it's not my usual textbook, so the sectioning is a little different. But a chapter usually has like 4 or 5 sections, so figure it's going to take 8 to 10 class periods, so it's going to be about 2 weeks a chapter once we get into new stuff. Okay. Caroline.
Are tests like going to be your questions or AP format?
They will be my questions. So what we'll do is until sometime in March, I usually finish before spring break again. I don't know what's going to happen with the pacing this year. I'm not worried. We will have plenty of time to review. We usually finish before spring break. So we take this time now and focus on learning the material. Okay? That's what we're going to do. And then what we do is we switch gears and we focus on reviewing. And I've spent a lot of time in the last couple of years developing a way to review based on like what other teachers have done. So we'll go back, and that's why I can tell you there are 10 types of problems they can ask you about in the review exam. Only 10. And so we'll review those 10 problems and how you can answer each one in strategy, and that's when we'll use actual AP problems to review the exam. Yeah.
How can we know the whole average grade? Like,
What your average grade is?
Yeah.
You probably have to ask me. I don't really like that question. You know, I mean, but you can email me and I can tell you what it is. Honestly, this is a math class. You can figure that out because you will get everything back. Assume your department grade is 100%. And then you know what the percentages are, so you can figure that out at any given time. I would be happy to confirm with you, okay? But you can figure that out. Anything else? Caroline? No, go ahead.
Do you want the syllabus printed in OneNote signed, or do you want to print a copy?
You certainly do not have to bring in a physical copy. So you could sign it in Word with the pen thingy on your laptop and email it to me, or you can copy it into OneNote. I probably should have done that, but we'll have it signed. Okay. The textbook is it's an online textbook through OpenStax. It is a college calculus textbook. It's not identical to what we would have used what we used last year and what we used the last several years, but it is certainly on that level. So I don't feel like we've given anything up, and then it's one less book you have to cart around. If you're going on a trip and you're afraid you're not going to have internet access, you can download these by section or chapter and turn them into PDFs. So you can take it with you. Anything else? Anything else? Okay, so I think that's the syllabus. I think that's this. We're going to do a lot of fun, weird things in the next week because I'm not supposed to be teaching you how to do this stuff because you're supposed to teach yourself outside of class. So, like I said, Jeopardy on Monday. There's all that stuff. It's not going to last, okay? Because we're going to get into harder things where it's going to be me trying to help you solve problems and making sure you understand. Okay, then you got about 10 minutes. You should stay here. You can do whatever it is that you like. Actually, it's more like 15 minutes because that clock is 5 minutes fast. I got it, Ms. Marlette. We will stop in about 10 minutes so you guys can pack your stuff up and we can spray the desks. I would recommend that you work on section 1.1 for tomorrow, but as I have said many times, we are all adults and learning how to manage your time is part of learning how to be an adult. Okay. Oh, one thing that came up earlier that I'll say, I love to work with you one-on-one. That is my favorite part of my job, is to like help you solve problems. So if you need to find me, the best thing to do is to send me an email. I check my email throughout the day. I check it usually throughout a period unless I get really involved in something. And my attitude is, if I am in the building and I am free, I am happy to help you. Every once in a while, I'm like trying to finish something in these 20 minutes that I need to teach later in the afternoon, and I may see if you can come back. But I would love to help you, okay? You should also feel free to help each other, okay? Really, I have to say this, there are parts of AP Physics and AP Calc. I mean, I took these classes over 30 years ago now, but there were things that I didn't understand until I actually taught them here. There were things that I just, I understand this. And then when I actually had to stop and figure out how to explain it to somebody else, it was like, well, I didn't understand that as well as I thought I did. So there is a real power to explaining it to somebody else. So there's a decent chance that if Fiona comes to me today and I help her with a problem, when Harvey comes tomorrow, I'm going to say, go talk to Fiona. Let her explain it to you. If that doesn't work out, come and see me and I'll help you. But give Fiona a chance, okay? So yes, you should help each other. That is very different than copying from each other, okay? That is no. But sitting down and letting somebody kind of guide you through and give you a little nudge when you need it, that's really beneficial to both of you. Okay, so I highly, and that goes for AP Physics as well. Okay, then do what you like until 1:30, and then we'll clean things up and be ready to move on to fifth period. Who's joining me for fifth period? Who's taking women inside? Okay, that should be all right. I think maybe that too. But all right. Yvette, are you still there?
Yeah.
I'm going to stop Zooming because we're just going to work on section 1.1. So you're free for however many minutes this is, okay?
Okay.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Stop sharing this.